gonna be a year. I mean, technically, it's definitely gonna be a year, so I'm right about one thing. Hey guys, my name's Gloria and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about my goals for 2020, and I have a couple of different categories for my goals. So there's obviously reading, there's going to be writing, and I also have some goals for this channel. This video is for future Gloria, so hey, did you finish the damn book yet? Look me right in the eye and tell me you finished that goddamn book, that you've started querying it, or I swear to God. So yeah, that's gonna sting her in the future. So I'm gonna start off with my goals for this channel because there's only a couple of them. This is a brand new thing for me and I'm trying out a lot of different things, but I do have a couple of goals for this channel that I would like to have reached by 2021. I did get a bit emotional there because it's already too close. It's flipping January and it's already too close for me. So my goals for this channel are the same as everyone else, pretty much. I want to get better at editing so that people enjoy my videos more. I want to be consistent with uploads. I'm uploading quite a bit now, but that's because I just so many fresh ideas in my head that I want to get them done as quickly as possible. But hopefully in the future I'm gonna have a consistent uploading schedule. Another one which is completely arbitrary and I just made up and literally means nothing is to have 200 subscribers by the end of the year. Absolutely nothing would change if I did have them or I didn't have them. It's just a number to try and work to. I think it's pretty much to try and get myself to edit better and to put more work into the videos. If you're watching this video and you like what I'm doing and you think you're gonna like future videos and the little number down below is less than 200, consider subscribing because karma will get you on that one. So, on to my reading goals. A new surrounding. Yeah, so my reading goals for 2020 are going to be a little different than before. I actually went back to my Goodreads recently and I didn't even realize that I had a challenge in 2018, but apparently I had 10 books and I smashed that goal. But I think I started that very late in the year because of when I started my blog and I was coming out of a really big reading slump and I wanted to get back into reading and start with small steps. And in 2019 I had a goal of 50 and I just about scraped by with that because of the books that were sent to me for review, but also because last year, at the end of last year, it wasn't a good time for me and I just completely stopped reading. I spent about 3 months lying on the couch watching Vine compilations, so you know, it wasn't a great time for me. But my goals for this year, I've set a goal on Goodreads for 75 books and I'm doing pretty well. I think I'm at 7 at the minute, but a lot of those were quite short and I've got that New Year energy in me right now and I know that's gonna evaporate pretty soon, so I'm trying to get ahead as much as possible with all the stuff I'm doing. I want to read more fantasy as well and thrillers. I grew up with a lot of fantasy. I have a lot of fantasy on my shelves as well and I really loved it, but I want to grab some more fantasy and also thrillers. I enjoy a lot of thriller movies, but I've never really read that many thrillers and I like to get some really good thrillers, get some recommendations from BookTube and stuff and get into those. I also want a sizable chunk of the books that I do read to come from the library. I don't want to be spending loads of money, especially for the YouTube videos and stuff. It doesn't make sense for me to be spending loads of money just to make a video about books that I'm not going to keep. So I got a library card last year, I think just before NaNoWriMo, but I want a huge chunk of the books that I read to be from the library, to obviously support the local library, but also just because I don't want to spend the money. Also, and I will be filming videos about these, I want to get rid of my TBR piles, my physical one, because that just sits there staring at me, making me really anxious. I used to pile them on my desk to try and remind myself to read them when I was writing, but then they became so high they were threatening to topple over and murder me, so I got like a cart, but then the cart was just more room to put more books and it just isn't working out. So I really need to get rid of my physical TBR pile. I looked through my Kindle app and I have loads of ebooks that I downloaded because they were free or cheap or whatever, and I just haven't read them, and a lot of them are from people that I know or mutuals online that I wanted to support them, and that I never read their books. So I want to get rid of all of my ebook TBR as well, and I might try and do some videos for that, but it's gonna take a weight off my shoulders to just get rid of all those books. Last of all, I want to be more protective of my time. I want to DNF some books. Don't really have it in me to DNF books, I don't think. I feel like if I start it, I need to finish it, or else I can't have an opinion of it or something, which is just ridiculous. I know that's ridiculous. So those are my reading goals. I want to read more, I want to read better, and I want to enjoy my reading more. So yeah. Jesus. And so I've reached the final hurdle, my most difficult one, my writing goals. So I told myself that I needed to be published by the age of 25. This year I'm going to be 27. So you could say I failed. That's definitely an argument that you could make. But if I hadn't made that goal, I think leading up to my 21st birthday I was on a rampage to get a full manuscript written, and if I hadn't made that goal I wouldn't have a manuscript right now that I can work on, that I can redraft, that I can polish to send out to query. So I'm so glad I made that goal. I doubt I'm going to get it published this year, but I'm definitely going to start querying agents and publishers and polishing it up. I'm very lucky at the minute to have a published writer who is mentoring me, and I'm going to try and wring every ounce of information and advice out of them as possible. My goal for the end of this year is to get published somewhere, whether it's an e-zine, a magazine, absolutely anywhere. I want to be able to say that I was published somewhere, that I had a short story or a flash fiction or anything whatsoever that was published somewhere. So my writing goals for 2020 are to polish my manuscript, my full novel. I have 82,000 words on one novel, and because of Nano last year I have over 50,000 on another novel. Polish, like redraft and perfect at least one short story. I don't think that's impossible for me. I want to start querying my novel, and I also want to start putting out short stories to magazines and stuff. I haven't really been doing that, and I really want to get going with that. Another big one for me is that I want to start focusing on my own writing more so than other people's writing. So last year, it's so hard to get people to read and critique your writing. Even in writing circles, it doesn't matter how many writers you know, how many readers you know, it's super hard to actually get people to critique it for you. So I kept seeing people on Twitter and Facebook and stuff that were asking for people to critique their writing, and I would always say yes, no matter how busy I was, no matter what else I was doing, I would always say yes. And this year I need to stop doing that, and I need to focus more on my own writing. It does however mean that I have a backlog of people who've said, hey, if you ever need anything read, I'll do that for you, so I might cash in some of those IOUs. Again, I need to focus on my own rather than other people's and actually get some stuff done. And one of the biggest things for me in terms of my writing habits is, like I said before, I can't write at home. It's too comfortable, too distracting. Before, I used to stay after work in like a coffee shop or something, normally Starbucks, which is it's so cliched, but I mean sometimes they're cliches because they do work. I used to stay in, and I used to be so anxious and uncomfortable being that awful writer who just buys one tea and sits there for 3 hours, that it would push me to want to go home sooner because I'd just be sitting there by myself. So I would say, okay, you're not allowed to go home until you've written so many pages or edited so many pages, and it was normally as well before I'd eaten, so I was just basically torturing myself in order to write, starving myself, not letting myself go home, because I have a fantastic desk set up down there. I have everything I need. I have a whiteboard for loads of notes and stuff, and I just don't use it. I sit down at it with my laptop, with a notebook, and I watch Vine videos yet again. So I really want to discipline myself to be able to sit at home and write, because it's free. I have unlimited tea here. I can do whatever I want. And yeah, I really want to set up better writing habits, to get comfortable writing at home, to force myself to write and edit and do everything at home. Like I said, you know, going to the library is great and everything, but it's not always open. I don't think it's open on a Sunday, and that's probably when I'll have the most time to write. I want to get better at consistently writing. You don't have to write every day, but writing is like a muscle. You can't let it atrophy either. You do need to write regularly, at least. It's different for everyone, but at least a couple of times a month I need to write, even just to keep up my confidence, because there's been times when I've had writing slumps and I just haven't written for ages, and then I sit back down and I'm like, I can't do this. I don't know how to put a sentence together. I cannot possibly write an entire story, which is bullshit. So I need to keep my confidence up in it. I need to discipline myself. I need to learn karate. That's what I need to do. So that's my reading, writing and channel goals for 2020. I've already packed way too much in, but if I can even do a half or a quarter of what I've mentioned in this video, then I'll be really proud of myself. The goal for everything is to just not lose your mind. You can quote me on that one. Let me know down below what your goals are. Do you have any changes you want to make to your reading or your writing habits? So thank you for watching. I'm going to go and finish my tea. I'll see you again in the next video.